Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you some tips, mostly beginner tips, on how to make a model more efficient, more optimized, and getting rid of simple problems. So some of them are about having extra details that you don't need, too many details like this, having a little bit of a weird surface, and about some simple modeling techniques. This is a model I made slightly worse, and I'm going to show you different ways to clean it up. So for a start, these edges don't do anything, so we're just going to get rid of them. And notice I'm not just going to press delete, I'm going to press control delete, because if I just press delete, the vertices are still there. So you want to press control delete and the vertices disappear. Another problem you see all the time, if I show this, this front bit is just one whole thing. There's no lines connecting any of this, and this is a problem. So what you want to do is you want to either grab your cut tool and connect everything like this, and I know that these are supposed to go like that, so I can do this. This one can connect to the top and this one to the bottom, and if you have your symmetry on, so let's turn on world X on our symmetry. Now you can do both at the same time if your model is symmetrical and in the center of the world. So this is something else you can do. Okay, so this is one way to fix these big areas. Another way, if we just delete these, you can grab your edges, edge, and you can, where is it, bridge. And you can bridge edges like this. So I can select this one, and then this one, and I still have my symmetry on. This one, and if I press bridge, it's going to bridge them all together. It's going to bridge them here as well. And if you have a little triangle like this, you just double click and you go to edit mesh, and or just mesh, and there's fill hole right there. It's called fill, not close, fill. I always get that wrong. And you can fix areas that are empty like this into something that's a little better. Some students like to go to mesh cleanup. Sometimes it's okay. I don't like to use it because I prefer to go in with the multicut and like just do it by hand, because it just works a lot better. It looks better, it works better, it's just better. And just remember, you might have little details like this. That still has to be like this. And this also lets you model a little better. So speaking of modeling, let's go to this. Let's go here. Now if I want to model on this, let's say I want to add some kind of detail here. And by the way, this little edge loop is in edit mesh tools, insert edge loop. And if you press control and shift, click, it's going to put it on your thingy here. Right, and I actually have too many. Alright, so let's grab one, and if I want to model, I can just add some edge loops here, and I can start moving them and doing whatever I want to do, which is great. Now if I want to add them here, I'm going to have a problem. So if I want to add one here, it's not going to go all the way, and that's because there's a triangle. So this is why you want to keep squares in a line or in a curve or any kind of squares, but going in a direction. Because as soon as you put a triangle in, now you can't model very well. You can't do a lot of the things you want to do. I want this to go all the way down, it's going sideways. So what you want to do is you just want to make sure that you don't have straight triangles like this. You don't have, you know, weird things like this, or, you know, whatever the problem is. You don't want to have stuff like this. You want to keep nice and even. I can show you on the back here. So this is just, I made it look worse, but what it was before, if I just find the right ones, was just squares. And you can see, if I get rid of the grid, it's just, you know, square in a line of a square. If you click and then double click, you're going to see that it's going to go all the way around. And you can see how it's going to go all the way around. So I'll grab this one and double click. You're going to see it's going to stop at the triangle. So it's very useful to have things in line. It just makes things work better when you're modeling. Small problems here, too many details that you don't need, get rid of these. Now notice on the side, if I get rid of this one, it changes the model. I don't want to change it, I want to keep it the same, so I'm going to keep this detail here. I'm going to get rid of these ones, but this edge doesn't do anything. It's exactly in the center. If I get rid of it, it's not going to change anything. So actually I'm going to grab my target weld, and if I finished modeling, I can just do this. And it has triangles, but because I finished this object, it's okay. And even I could probably just come here and delete that, and it's fine. And same with a few of these, like this one as well. Like I don't need these middle details. I can probably get rid of them. I want the side ones because they create this edge, but this middle one, for instance, I probably don't need. I could get rid of it. I could get rid of all of these up until here, because this one I could use for something. But if you have details that aren't doing anything, just get rid of them. Like here, if I had these, like if I was gonna make it a little rounder or something, that's fine. But because I'm not, and they're not doing anything, I'm just gonna delete them, and there's no change. Okay. Last two things I want to show on this model is here. These aren't doing anything. They're giving me a curve. I want this curve. This is important. But these in the middle, let me see, where is it? Sideways aren't doing anything. Downwards, yes, but sideways they don't do anything. So I want to get rid of them. So I'm just going to go from here, here. If you want to keep it so it's easier to model, that's fine. Keep them. But if you don't, if you're finished with modeling, you can start optimizing. And optimizing is when you get rid of things you don't need and make the mesh a little have lower resolution. And here's well, like this one isn't doing anything. I could either get rid of it, or I could try and get it to like do something like this. That's a little better. And very last thing, here you see I have this cut, and it looks interesting. I can see it from far away. Like even if I get rid of this, you can see there's a cut here. These ones I can see, but these details are really easy to do in Substance Painter. So actually I would prefer not to have these for my low poly. I would keep them for my high poly, but for my low poly I'd get rid of them. So actually what I would probably do is I would grab this, see where it is, and I would call this I don't know what this is called, ammo high poly, and I would duplicate it, and I would hide this one, and this one I would call low poly, and I would get rid of all of these for this one, and that's a little better. There's almost no difference. I can put those details in Substance Painter, or I can bake them from the normal map using the high poly. Alright, so that's this gun done. Those are some ideas, some ways you can model a little better, getting rid of problems you don't need and fixing issues. So there is a quick idea of some things you can do. Now I want to show you, before I finish, some other models. So these are some models from other students and things, and I just want to show you some quick ways to fix small problems. So let's start with this one. This one was part of a bigger model that's actually fine. It was okay, but I saw that you had this little issue here. So because everything is to the middle, sometimes it goes over the other side, right? So all you need to do is grab this vertex and just move it up a bit, and it fixes the problem. Another thing you can do is, so I'm gonna hold Control, right click, face to face. It's gonna select all the faces around that point. I'm gonna delete them, and something else you could do is you could just, you know, bridge. Oops, wrong one. So you could just bridge, which might be a little safer, a little easier. Might be another way to do it. So this looks a little bit nicer as well. Actually, what about this part? No, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. This is fine. You're not gonna see this part, so it doesn't really matter. but still you want it to be, you know, alright. And it's just a little bit easier to look at than this, maybe easier to UV, maybe. Or you could just, you know, like I was showing before, you could just move that point a little bit up like this to fix that problem. Alright, so that's that part. This one was actually fine. I just wanted to show you how if you're gonna use spheres, you're gonna use lots of spheres, you're gonna be doing stuff. When you make a sphere, stick it in here. So we're gonna have it somewhere like this. Let me just get rid of this sphere for now. If you're gonna have a sphere, stick it in. Whatever you're gonna do with it, that's fine. But in your channel box, click this first input, and you can select this and change it to something lower. So usually for a sphere, you'd probably be fine with 12 by 12, or even I would say 8 by 8, and that would still be fine. If it's really small, 8 by 8 is even too much, maybe. But you know, when you go to display, mesh display, soften edge, it's gonna get softer. And when you increase if we get rid of that soften, let's say it was like 12, mesh display, soften edge, it's like it's fine. If you're gonna see the character from here in the game, like you can't tell different. If you see it from like here, if it's something like on a gun or something, or a character's head, maybe. But if you're that close, maybe don't use a sphere. Maybe use something else. And also you could rotate the sphere. I wanted to show, and you can like grab these faces, and you can start like pulling them out and doing different stuff. It doesn't just have to be a sphere, you know. And on this one, really quick, this was generally fine. It didn't have many problems, but there's just stuff like this at the top. It's like this is one whole thing. You don't have to use this thing and just go click, 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 click. Too long. If it's something like this that's completely flat, just get rid of this. Grab the edges, double click. It's gonna grab all the edges and just why is it going on? What's it grabbing this? We don't need this. Oh, I have symmetry, excuse me. Off. So delete the middle part, grab the round bit, and it's gonna grab everything, and just get rid of this one and this one on the side, and then just click bridge. No? Oh, I still have this one. Get rid of this one and bridge, and it's just gonna bridge it. So just to show you again, since we had an interruption, you get rid of the middle part. So you have this, too many, get rid of the middle part, double click the edges, get rid of this one, and just bridge. And it's going to automatically bridge all of these together. See, it can select all of the top ones and all of the bottom ones, it's going to bridge. Really fast, really easy. Same for the bottom one. Delete this, grab the edge, double click, get rid of these ones, or get rid of this one. Ooh, actually, see here it's going to be harder because it has these on the side, but these don't actually do anything. So I'm actually going to move these to make it easier. And now we can select everything again, get rid of the top one and the bottom one, or the sides, and you can bridge. Always forget where it is. And you have a bridge, which is fine. And here as well. Now, if you ever extrude things in like this, that's fine. But look, you still have these ones here that are connected to this. So this middle one, for instance, we don't even need. Control delete that. And now I just need to fix these. So there's no point in having edges going all the way down like this for each of these. No. If you're doing something like this and you want to do something like this, okay, fine, just grab this and just do this. It's easier, it works, it's okay, don't worry about it. That's just what you have to do if you want to do something like this. Whilst you're doing all of these things, notice you're getting this long list up here. This is your history. If you have too much of this, Maya might crash, you might get some problems. So every once in a while, whilst you're working, click your model, go edit, delete by type, history, and it's gone. Alright, cool. So those are some quick ways to like make models less detailed, or like make them better detailed, fewer resolution, fixing some small problems, and fixing some other small problems. Alright, let's see what we have next. This stuff is cool. I just wanted to show you that, you know, if you just put a sphere on the top like this, it's gonna look a little weird. So again, you know, when you put a sphere in, change the resolution, or you could like grab these faces, and you could extrude them. So where we have extrude like this, you can just pull them out, and I'm gonna grab them again and just flatten them like this. You can do something like this. Let's grab this edge, make it smaller, pull it down a little, and now you can put a few edges like this, and you can pull these ones in, you can pull this one out, you can pull this one out, you can pull this one out like this, and you can make something that looks a little bit nicer instead of just, you know, having one sphere just sitting on the top and looking a bit strange. And you can do stuff like this, whatever, and then you can just grab the edges or the vertices, and you can edit mesh display, sorry, soften, ta-da, it's a bit soft, it looks a bit weird. Let's grab these ones and harden these ones, and you can do stuff like this. It looks just a little bit nicer. This could use a bit more detail actually, this whole thing. Anyway, that's one thing. This I just wanted to show. If you don't need these middle parts, just get rid of them. Grab your target weld and just do stuff like this. Like you don't need them, or you could just, you know, select all of these and delete them, select the edges and merge it to the center, or you could just select all these vertices like this. And you go edit mesh, merge to center, not like that. But of course, you know, it's up to you. Something else I wanted to show, detailing this, you could put a deform and a lattice, and that gives you this weird box. And you could, I'm not gonna do too much on lattice, I just wanted to show that if you want to get like funky small details, you could grab the lattice points, and then you could kind of move this in weird ways, and do different things with it and get like an interesting shape. Okay, almost done. This thing is a bit crazy. Like all these edges, you don't need all of these edges. They're not doing anything. If you want to put a little extra thing like that, just make it a separate object. Like you don't need to have this in here. So a lot of this, I would say, doesn't need to have these crazy details. So if I was gonna do this again, I would like stick a box in here. If I wanted to get the details on the top like this, I would just add these like that, and then I would extrude like this, and if I wanted them only on certain areas, I would then add those areas like this, and this is starting to look, you know, similar to what the student has done. But then I would just delete these areas. I would bridge this, bridge this, and this, and these ones at the bottom I would get rid. So first of all, I would get rid of this anyway. But then I could grab the target weld, and when I finish, I could do something like this. If I wanted to add a little thingy on the side, so maybe something like this, something small, I would just do a separate object. So I would put something here. Let's get rid of this side, make it smaller and wider, bada bing, something like this. And if I wanted to add a doorway, doorways are a little complicated, but something you can do is you can grab your cut tool, you can cut here, and it looks really messy, right? But don't worry. Then I'm going to grab this edge and I'm gonna scale it sideways. Now it's straight. And I can move it into where I want it, how big I want my doorway to be. Same with this, I could click and click, and now I can grab this and I could scale it so it's straight, and I can choose where the doorway stands, and then I can just click here like this. And I'm not going to extrude, I'm not going to use extrude, I'm just going to delete. Then I'm going to select these edges and I'm going to extrude the edges, and I'm going to move them like this, and you have something that's like a doorway. And then you could even like put in more lines in here, and you could scale them in a little. You could do all sorts of stuff. But this is a little bit cleaner than like too many lines and trying to do things with lines. Just try and use fewer lines and be a bit more careful. They both don't have a lot of detail, but this and this have the same detail, but this has fewer. This is 108 and this is 400, right? So that was just something I wanted to show you. Just if you're going to be making squares and buildings like this, just keep them simple for now. Alright, so that's that. Let's get rid of that. Let's hide that. Is there anything else I want to show you? There's 3 sections that I want to show you, and then we'll probably be done. Maybe 4. Let's start with this one. So this one had a few issues. I've already shown why things like this are an issue. There's just too many, you know, just an empty face. And also, if you look at the vertices, there's lots of little points here that don't do anything. So I would grab the target weld, and I would actually like pull these points to the end and get rid of them all like this. And if it seems like it's taking a long time, first select them like this. So I'm going to select all of these points, and then I'm going to grab the target weld, and I'll do them all at once like that. And it's really quick. Here, this is fine, but it's just too many. Like, you don't need all of these. They don't really do anything. This is a hand as well, so maybe you need some for animation if you're animating something, and you need them for curves like this. But generally, some of these are just too many. The way around is not too bad. So if I actually grab this and mesh display soften edge, it's not too bad. It looks pretty round. This is too much. This is the opposite. It doesn't have enough going up, and it has too many going around. So, you know, when you make a cylinder that you're gonna use, again, you have the things in here, and you have the subdivision. You can change how many. So it's going to be really small. You don't really need that many. You need maybe this many or less. But for this, you would have to like grab one, grab one, grab one, like this. Da-da, 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 da-da. And there is a way to do this a little quicker, but I'm just showing you this way. It's a little easier to explain. Control delete. And you could probably, this is okay, you could go less if you wanted. This is fine. Here, lots of extras. You don't need these, they don't do anything. So I'll get rid of them. These ones don't do anything. I'll get rid of them. If you need the details here, that's fine, but when they go back up, just like close them in. If you're not going to use the details going upwards, you don't need them. Maybe you might need them whilst you're still modeling, but when you finish modeling, like, you don't need any of this stuff. I would even say you don't need this here. You could get rid of them this early on, just like that, because this should all be flat. This shouldn't have these kind of this stuff inside. Keeping one is fine, but more than that you don't need. And you could get rid of them on the top as well, and you know, some of these as well. And these ones, I was just going to say again, too many, going around too much, and you don't need the back either, so you could like grab these faces and then get rid of these faces and just delete this, because you don't need it. You never see it, and then you can stick it back in. Also, if it's only going to go this far, like, pull this in a bit, come on, this doesn't need to go that far. It just makes your UVs too big. This was this guy. Alright, what we got next? This thing. Obvious problem here. easy to fix. Delete this, select all of them, delete that one, don't look at that one, don't look at that one, bridge, done. And then if you're like, oh, I have too many of these edges, just get rid of a few. It's fine. Quick fix, very quick. It looks like it's gonna take forever, but it's very quick. Here, this is too many. Like, you never see it from the side almost, so you could probably get rid of most of these, I would say. They don't need to be that many. It looks the same. It looks exactly the same. This is okay, but I don't know. Maybe you just need like, maybe you just need this. You don't even need the other side, maybe, or just keeping it a little less. Obvious problem here. Like, why keep these? You could just target weld this up here like that, and that's fine. And this, you know, same way, fixing it the same way. And be careful of stuff like this. It would be, you know, you have a lot of edges here you don't need, like all of this stuff. It's not doing anything. You could get rid of them. Yeah, they're not doing it. You can get rid of those. The bottom you'll never see. You can get rid of the bottom. This part here, like this is, you have this problem here as well with these. There's a few things that can be fixed on this. I've already shown how you can fix these, but just be careful. This is okay, this is good that you put them all to this corner, but now this corner needs to go down because nothing's happening here. So when you're putting these sideways, you're also going to think about the ones going down here, because this is going to have to go down, and this is going to have to go down, and now these ones are going to have to go across it as well. So think about that. Think about where these ones are going down. It's good that these are in the corner though, and not all going down. That's a good thing. Okay, two more. This thing, really simple. Like, you just don't need this. Done, gone. And also this one, like, you don't need that. If you're gonna make it as, if this is made of metal, this is supposed to be made of metal, then like details like this, like, you don't need them. Bada bing, bada boom. Now it's a little easier to use. This has just, well, this middle one you don't need at all. So like this is 296, get rid of this, and now it's 252. That's a lot less. This is very round. You could probably have it half as round, or just a little less round. This is way too round, because see, it will always look round. It will only stop looking round if you look at the bottom. If you look at the bottom now, you can see the edges. But if you look at the middle, you can't. So let's put this to the side, and let's make another one. And this, stick it over here. And this, I'm only going to put 6. Only 6. And I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to make it so you don't see the edges, right? Let's make this a little thinner and stick it in here. Now I'm going to select the edges, mesh display, soften edge. It looks round. It doesn't look round here where it connects. So this might be one reason to have it a little bit higher. Have it go up a little. Maybe to like 12 at most, no more than 12. 8, 9 is fine as well. 10 is fine as well, maybe. But not 24. You don't need 24. It's 40. This is 40 because it still has the top parts. So let's grab everything, but not this. Get rid of the top parts. And now this is just 20. And this is 40. And you'll be like, oh, that's barely anything. Yeah, but if you have like 50 of these, and they're all half as big, it's not going to be 5,000. It's going to be 2,500, and that's a big difference. Stuff like this, you can put this in Substance Painter. You don't need to have these here. you could put details like this in Substance Painter really easily. You could probably get rid of these. And when you texture it, you still see it. Because when you look at it from here, like, you can't see the difference. Stuff like this, just be careful. If it's not doing anything, you can get rid of it. Or, I remember what this character was like. You could have done something like that as well. That would have been cool. But if they're not doing anything, you could just and then Control Delete. And I missed one at the end there. This is fine. You know, it's a bit too much, but you know, if you need it to be round, you gotta get it round. But this, oh boy, come on, man. You don't need this much. This is way too much. Like this is so small as well. Like this is like this big. Come on, you don't need to see that much. Because imagine this is in a game. If this is in a game and you have your character, I know this is from a robot, so let's say this robot has like, and it's the same. It looks the same. So if you have a robot and it has how many was this? Like this is 40, right? So let's say it has like 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say 8. Let's say 10. Just to say 10. That's 400. And let's say you have 50 robots, and they all have 400, which is 4,000 times 5, which is like 20,000 or something. It's a big number, right? And that's just because they're 40 instead of 20. Whereas if you have them 20, it's going to be like, you know what I mean. Just try and keep it a little more optimized, and it will save you some problems. Okay, very last thing, really simple. Let me get rid of this. Problem we've seen a lot, just this, same as before. I've shown it a lot now. Bam, 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 done. Simple fix, really simple. Same as here. Maybe this is a little more complicated, so we need to do it by hand using the target weld. And I just wanted to show, this is supposed to be very round, so it's okay. Like, it's supposed to be very round, so it's okay. But these things are this is just lazy. Come on, you just made a sphere and you made it small and you put it in the face. It's like, don't do that. If you're gonna do that, if you're just gonna have a sphere for the face, which is okay, you know, sometimes it's okay. If you're gonna do it, just make it a bit smaller. Just make it, select these two and then middle mouse, and then just go down to like 12 or 8 or something. 8 is okay. You can rotate it to be forwards like this, so it looks like an eye, and you can put it like this, and you can mesh display, soften edge, and it's okay. Maybe a little more. That's too little. Let's do 12. Because look at this. This is like 264, right? I mean, the eye is important, but this one is like 760. That's a lot. Let's mesh display, soften edge, and you know, it's fine. It's okay. You can't tell the difference between the two, except that this one is 264 and this one's 760, right? So those are some tips. There are some tips on how to get your models looking a little better, having fewer problems, and fixing some things that I see all the time when people first start using Maya. Okay, that was it. Thanks.